All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to another session with the Market Trader. Before we get started, I wanted to get through the the risk disclosure. Okay, so just to remind everyone that the content that's being published by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security company or fund. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and it's not for every investor. And the investor could potentially lose all or more their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be otherwise lost without jeopardizing their financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Okay. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. So now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, we will come to the NAS here in a bit, Elizabeth. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with the news. And just kind of to get a sense for the news that's headed our way, we already have some U.S. retail sales, jobless claims, retail sales core has already kind of percolated the market here. We have some earnings that are coming up here, bank earnings, health insurance, Morgan Stanley, United Health are coming in or are reporting, I should say. And then at 10 a.m., we have housing market index. We have U.S. business inventories coming in at 10 a.m. And then we have an earnings call for Bank of America here at 11 a.m. So a fair amount of news that has entered the market, which could introduce a little bit of volatility. Okay. So now that we've gotten through the news, we'll go ahead and start reviewing the charts. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start off with what we normally start off is with the gold because that opens earlier. So we'll start off with the gold and then we'll follow it with the crude oil and then the equity markets, NASDAQ, ES, and EM and YM. Okay. So go ahead and start with the gold market. I was kind of looking at the EM market as I was preparing for this. So I will go ahead and update this to the gold market. Okay. All right. And we're just going to, again, kind of take a step back here, get a sense for, sort of the general direction of the market here and then kind of move our way down time frames. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart. Okay. And just basically try to understand what is the market trying to accomplish. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to actually leave that because it looks like we are on the upper end of this break here. Okay. We were kind of tracking this, this triangle pattern. Okay. So we were in this consolidation pattern and we're going to kind of squeeze this a little bit. Okay, so we were tracking this triangle pattern in gold, and we finally got a break. Okay, break in the sense that it broke above. Okay, so now the question is, if it does indeed break above, okay, is this truly a move to the upside, which could lead to some sort of trend? Now, if you've been to any of my sessions, you've heard me say that this move, while I don't know the direction of the move, okay, could be quite substantial. All right. This could be a move that leads us to basically the magnitude of this move could lead us to I think 3,000. Okay, all right. This is kind of the general target that we're looking at, assuming that we break and hold this level. Okay, break and hold above this consolidation range. That's the magnitude of this potential move here. Okay. So yeah, something to make note of when we break daily levels, that leads us to potential of a pretty significant move. Okay, so let's go ahead and move down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove this this level here, those drawings, the triangle pattern that we were kind of following here. Okay, and we'll look at this from a 4-hour perspective, and you can see that we've been in this kind of steady higher high, higher low kind of pattern in the gold market. Okay, steady climb in this market, and today is no different. Okay, today we are seeing a development of a bullish candle to the upside. We kind of look over here to the left and say, well, what could impede this move on a 4-hour time frame? Well, I do see 2760. Okay, 2760 is definitely a level here that could impede this progress to the upside, at least temporarily. Okay, right. So I see a clear path to at least 2760, and then from there, we could see another little pullback, and then maybe a continuation move. But I don't expect that we will break this level here, 2760, at the first attempt. Okay, I expect us to come up to this level here, and hover maybe around this edge, maybe pull back a little bit before we make that break. If we do make that break, okay, based on the daily chart, that's what it's indicating, right? We got a little bit of a push outside that triangle consolidation pattern. All right, so moving down to the 30-minute chart. All right, so this is where I start to add some of my levels here. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to add to this chart is we'll go ahead and add the initial balance range. That's already kind of in progress. Okay, so we'll add that here. Okay, so that's our initial balance range. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove that bar there. Okay, so that's the initial balance range. That is developing, right? We still have another 30-minute bar to go to complete the range. Okay. All right. So now that we have the initial balance range, the next thing I want to understand is, where are we in reference to value from yesterday's trade? Well, the way I do that is I look at the fixed range volume profile. I go back to the start of the session. I use 5:30, or actually 8:30, sorry, 8:30 Eastern time, drag this across to the 1330 bar, and that's our value range. Okay, so right now we can see that price is well above value. All right, so this line, I'm going to go ahead and extend this line over here. That's our value area high. Okay, this over here is our value area low. Okay, and this over is our point of control from yesterday's session. Okay, so point of control basically is the price that's generated the most volume in yesterday's session was 2703.9. Okay, all right. So now let's take a look and see what else I want to add to this chart. And one thing that maybe could cause me to is so we got a fair number of bulls, I guess, that stepped into the market here in the middle of the London session. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, well, okay, if they are truly going to keep this bullish, then they're going to keep it above this anchored VWAP, right? If they're going to remain in control, then price will remain above this kind of baby blue line, and I set up a anchor VWAP on this kind of a change in direction. Okay, so if they are indeed going to continue if they are going to remain control, price will remain above. Okay, looking at the volume delta here, Okay, you can see that there's a fair amount of volume that's coming into this into price here, so indicating that this move has some legs behind it. Okay, there is a fair amount of participation, uh, uh, 2,000 some odd more buy orders than sell orders at the moment. Okay, so that is an indication that there is a good amount of participation, and anytime you have volume in line with price direction, that generally makes for a good move. Okay. All right. So let's see. I want to go ahead and add my ADR here. So my ADR level. Okay. So we've already exceeded that. ASR is in the process of being exceeded as well. So my average session range and my average daily range have been exceeded to the upside, which is an indication that we could be in the midst of a potential sustained move to the upside. I've already kind of drawn my line in the sand here on how far I could expect this potential move to the upside to continue before we see any sort of resistance. And that was, I think we pulled that off the daily chart. Okay. All right. So last thing I'm going to add here is my levels. All right. My price levels that I will be looking at in this market. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and copy paste those in here. Okay. So here we are. These are my levels that I'll be looking at in this market. All right. Levels that I'm going to be caring about. So we are coming into maybe a high of a supply level here. We've already exceeded our session ranges. So again, the path seems to be that it's going to continue. Okay. Now the question for us is, where can we reasonably participate in this market? All right. So assuming that this candle closes in its current form, then we're going to be looking for some sort of pullback, right? Maybe ideally to some sort of reference level where we can manage our risk, right? Maybe down to anchored VWAP, maybe down to maybe the top of IB high, something to support our execution. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. It appears that we're headed for a potentially bullish session in this market. The first 30 minutes will probably dictate what direction we end up going. That's usually a good litmus test as to what the sentiment is, right? So if the first 30 minutes is indeed in this case bullish, well, there's a good chance that we stay bullish for the remainder of the session. Okay. All right. So taking a peek here to see if there's any questions. I don't see them. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the crude oil market before we start to jump in on the equity markets. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So again, we're going to do the same kind of analysis that we did before. We're going to remove all our drawings. We're going to take a look at the daily chart and kind of move our way down, to support our kind of multi-time frame analysis, because it's quite important to understand what the higher time frame is doing, to understand, kind of the direction that we should be looking for in the lower time frame, right? Anytime we can get the higher time frame aligned with our shorter time frame view of the market, it makes for a much smoother trades, much smoother trades. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off some of my levels here that I track. Okay, we'll leave initial balance on. We're about 12 minutes away from this taking place here. So we're seeing that we're getting a little bit of overlapping candles here. So we might be maybe entering in a bit of a range in the crude oil market in an otherwise market that's excuse me. Take a sip of water here. Okay, in a market that's otherwise appears to be bullish. Okay. All right, we got to I would say that's an important level here, this 80 mark, right? And kind of retraced away from it a little bit, right? So 80 was a logical level for this market to go. We didn't really manage to close above it. Okay, so because if we closed above it, then that would open up the door for maybe prices to reach 84. Okay, So, like I said, right now we're starting to see a little bit of loss, maybe a little bit loss of momentum here in this market. Okay, we're kind of ranging here a little bit. Okay, maybe that's maybe creating a situation where we may maybe get a little bit of a pullback before we make our next leg higher. Now we are above our EMA level here, 233-day EMA. That is generally an indicator that I use to arrive at just sort of general sentiment of the market. So the sentiment in this market, it remains bullish. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart. Okay, again, this is kind of where I was telling you about that we do appear to be in some sort of range here. Okay, this gap is a result of rollover, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to that, other than the fact that we had a rollover in price. Okay, into the new contract. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, we do appear to be in a little bit of a range. I would say that 77 40, the 77.35 seems to be an area of support. Okay, we're getting a little bit of reaction away from that 77 level as we speak. All right, so again, appears to be kind of moving into a little bit of a range price move action at the moment. All right, looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, so price right now is below our VWAP and kind of in a VWAP that's sloping lower. Okay, so as long as price stays below this VWAP, I have to think that maybe we will continue in that direction. Okay, so there was a fair number of sellers that stepped into this market at the start of London here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP. Okay, my anchor VWAP is going to be a kind of another kind of indication here of what is the general direction of this market, right? So we have price right below both our daily and anchor VWAP. Anchor VWAP is tracking kind of the sentiment of London. Okay, so London is saying, okay, we really don't believe in the upside. We're more interested in this instrument to the downside. Okay, the U.S. market is going to be opening up here in about 8 minutes. Now, if the U.S. market is able to say maybe break above 79, then we end up having the potential of filling this gap here. Okay, all right. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile here. We're going to start with the open of the session of yesterday, drag that across to the close of the session, and you can see price is below value, indicating again that we have some bears in this market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and that's our value area low. Okay, so as long as we stay below value area low, my view again is that we will continue lower. Okay, if we happen to have price close back inside value, okay, and ideally above 79, then I would say that we have a good chance of rotating all the way through value back up to 80. Okay, that's kind of my line in the sand here. Okay, my value area low. If we're below value area low, we continue lower. If we're above value area low, we have a potential of rotating through value. Okay, all right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add my levels to this chart here. So we'll just kind of just as a reference for us for today's session here. Okay, so here we are. We have our price levels that we'll be taking a look at here. So we have our value area high coming in at 80.30. Our 4-hour supply is up above at 81. We have our average daily range high, which is right around our level here. We'll go ahead and maybe turn that on here. We'll just in the spirit of keeping a clean chart. Okay, so we are reacting away from average daily range low. Okay, so again, these ranges offer us areas for reversal in price. Okay, and we got another nice reversal off of ADR low here. Okay, all right. So the question now becomes: are we going to continue this rally from ADR low, or is this just merely a pullback to something like a VWAP, and we're going to continue lower? Okay. Well, if you talk to London seems to be of the opinion that that price is going to continue to the downside. Okay. So we'll have to see how price opens. We'll have to see how price accepts, whether it accepts value. If it accepts value, then I would say that we have a good chance of rotating all the way up to the highs of Wednesday. Okay, if it's unable to get above, which it has already had trouble. Okay, if it's unable to get above this value area low, then I would say that we are headed lower. Okay, all right. Okay, let's go ahead now and move into the Nasdaq. Okay, I got that request right from the open of this call, and here we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the drawings. Let's go ahead and start off with a daily chart and get a sense for what this market is trying to accomplish. Okay, so we started the day with a very strong bullish candle here. Okay, developing. This is still very much developing in an otherwise, I would say, bearish channel. Okay, we have yet to break, technically yet to break this channel to the downside. Okay, so when I draw my channels, I try to touch the bodies as much as I can. I'm not really interested in wicks because I use this as a kind of indication of strength of whoever the participants are. So if these participants, and again, this is not going to happen today, but it is it is something to watch. Is will the buyers, okay, eventually would like to take this above this area here? Okay, if price manages to get above that level, then we were off to another leg higher. Okay, or there's obviously the possibility that we continue in this kind of bearish channel. Right, there's nothing to say that needs to happen. Okay, but what we want to see, and again, we have evidence in the past where this has happened and failed. Okay, so this area up here is going to be an interesting area to watch. Are we going to continue? Okay, are we going to continue this pattern? Okay, and if we are, then this area right here is going to offer us an area for a potential bearish trade. Okay, bearish channel, bearish trade. Right, if we get a break, okay, if we get a break of this level and we're able to hold above, well, that builds a case that maybe there's a possibility that we'll have another leg higher in this market. Okay, another leg higher in this market. Okay, that's what I'm seeing in sort of the macro view. Okay, I understand that this is a daily chart, right? This is a daily bar, and we won't know the significance of this bar. Let's see, am I looking at the right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually one bar away from. I was looking at this. So some sorry replay mode, guys. So yes. Okay, so here's our bar, right? We had a nice close here, and we are developing another bar here. Okay, that is also bullish. Okay, now again, the question remains the same: Are we going to be able to exceed this bearish channel? Okay, and if we can, then we're looking at higher prices potentially. If we are unable, and we have been unable to do that in the past, then I would say that we continue to the downside. Okay, that's what I see on a daily chart. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Here we are hovering up against this level here. We're starting to see maybe some sellers maybe nibbling here a little bit. Okay, we've had sellers here kind of here in the past. The last time we were on the upper end of this channel. So could this be another situation where we get a little bit of a sell-off? This is an area. This is an area of decision. Okay, I don't know how many candles is going to take to create the move. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4-hour candles before we decided to drop. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be what we see again. Okay, what I do know is that we're at an area that is probably not going to just uh, be just is not going to be defended, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's that this area is just, we're not going to be able to get price through this area unless we get some sort of news event that causes that to happen. Okay, all right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, so we see that price is hovering around our daily VWAP. Okay, we see that Okay, if we start just prior to the London market, there seemed to be a little bit of a rally here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that area and see how well price is remaining above that sentiment. I suspect it's, well, I didn't suspect that, honestly. I was expecting that it was above it. But in any case, that is an indication that we are kind of in a rangy kind of market at the moment. Okay, we see that price has made it through VWAP, above VWAP, down below it. So really, price. I mean, the price action that we're seeing in the Nasdaq is a bit on the rangy side. Okay, so we need to be careful here because rangy markets, unless we are very good about picking edges, are often difficult to trade. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and let's remove we'll keep our channel there, okay, as a reference here. The next thing I want to do here is I want to open up my fixed range volume profile. I want to see where price is in reference to yesterday's price action, okay? So I'm going to go ahead over here, drag this across to the close of the yesterday's trade. And you can see here that price is hovering right around the this value range. Okay. Again, this value range, this value area high is important for me. Okay. So as long as price remains above value, okay, then my feeling is that we have a reasonable chance of heading higher. Okay. If price opens and closes below value, okay, then I would say that we will rotate through value, okay, before we see anything of significance back to the upside. Okay, so this reference level is important for me. Okay, if price remains above, then we're looking higher. If price does manage to close inside, then I would say that we at least rotate through value from yesterday. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and add these here. Initial balance is not available because market has yet to open. We're about a good half hour away from the market open here, guys. So that's the reason that we don't have an initial balance range establishing. Okay, so here are our levels. We're going to go ahead and just kind of confirm a couple of them. So we're going to go say value area high is not this value area high. See here. Yeah, that's Wednesday. So value area high in this case is 21,434. Okay, so we'll just update that 34. Okay, we have our value area low coming in at 21,317. 21,317. We'll update that as well. Okay. All right. And let's see. We got let's go ahead and open this up here really quick just to make sure we got our levels. All right, we have 21,407 is our value area. Yeah, I have value area high at 21,407. That's probably why I got it. Okay. Point of control at 21,355. Okay. So we'll go ahead and close this off here. Okay. All right. So these are our reference levels that we'll be tracking in this market. I'm going to go ahead and remove this here. All right. So these are levels that we'll be tracking. Right now, I think what I'll be watching in this market is how we continue in this bearish channel. Okay. If we do get a break of this channel to the upside, then maybe there's a upside opportunity being created here. Okay. But I do need to see some price action to indicate that, right? So I need to see price get above this channel and hold in order for me to entertain a long. Okay. Otherwise, then this top end of this channel is going to continue to serve as bearish opportunities as we've been seeing up till now. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see, okay, whether we're able to hold value, all right, above, right, price above value. Because if we are able to hold a price above value, then chances are we will price will break above this channel and head higher. Okay. If price again does not, then chances are we'll close inside value, and we'll probably explore and see if we can get some more participants to support buyers. Okay. If not, then we'll continue lower. Okay. So this level right here, 21,434, is a reasonably important level for me. Okay. To understand whether or not do we stay bearish in this market, or do we use this level as a level to support a bullish trade? Okay. So that's what I have for the NASDAQ. I'm going to pause here to see if there's any questions, because there seemed to be a fair amount of interest in understanding what NAS is going to do today. Okay. But let's go ahead and move on to the ES here. Okay. Looking at the ES, again, we're going to go ahead and remove our drawings here, and we're going to do the same kind of analysis that we did with the NASDAQ. I suspect it's going to be relatively same, only for different prices here, okay? So here we are. We're up on the very top of our bearish channel that we've been kind of tracking here, okay? Now the question is this going to continue in the same path that it's been? Okay, this is going to serve as an area for another leg down, or is this going to be a opportunity for bulls to take a stand here and break price, or have price break this channel to the upside? We don't know, right? Right now, we're getting a little bit of reaction on the upper end of this channel, indicating to me that maybe there are some sellers here around this 6,000 number. Okay. 6,000 seems to be an area of interest here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. Okay. So 6,000 right about there. Okay. Oh. Right about there. Okay. 6,000 level seems to be something of interest. Okay. We have a developing candle, which is bullish, but I wouldn't say it's overly bullish. Okay. It's developing bullish, but I see a large selling wick on above it, indicating that there are sellers in the pen. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart. Here we have a developing bearish engulfing candle around an area of interest. Okay. That we are looking at around the 6,000 level. Okay. So again, indications are that maybe this is an area where we could see another leg, okay, another leg in this bearish channel to the downside, okay? Until this channel is broken, okay, then that's kind of my view, right? So right now we're on the upper end of that channel. So my view is that maybe we get another leg to the downside, okay, in this market, all right? Especially if this candle does indeed end up closing in the next 50 minutes as bearish engulfing, that could give me a little evidence here that maybe we can make our way down to 5,900. Okay, seems to be a logical destination for a bearish trade. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's the 4-hour chart. Let's move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. Let's see what the 30-minute chart is saying. Okay. So here we are in this bearish channel. Okay, we're making a series of lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and draw this channel the same way I drew this channel in the NASDAQ, right? So as long as price is unable to break this channel to the upside, as long as price remains below our daily VWAP, there's really nothing to do as far as bulls go. Okay, for me. All right. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my anchor VWAP right around the start of London here. Okay, so you can see here that we are below our anchored VWAP and our daily VWAP. Okay, indicating that there's a fair amount of sentiment to the downside. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. Okay. Fixed range volume profile for the start of the session here. So fixed range volume profile, we'll go ahead and start with the here and then kind of drag that across to the close of yesterday's session. So you can see here that we're actually a little bit further along the NASDAQ here to the downside. Okay. We have managed to get inside value. Okay. Here you can see, right? We managed to get inside. We had a push inside value, close on the 30-minute chart, a brief rally, and now we're kind of debating on whether we're going to stay inside or whether we're going to use this as a way to rally here. Right now, here we see that we got a natural kind of rally away from an area of demand. Right, this was kind of a last kind of major buyer, right? Who they drove price higher. Now we've come back to this same area, and the same buyer looks like has to some degree surfaced. Okay. Now the question is, do we remain inside value? If so, then I would say that it kind of leads me to believe that we are going to head lower. Okay. If we stay inside value. Otherwise, we're going to close above value, which gives me more, maybe even above VWAP and this 6,000 level. Maybe it makes a case for maybe another leg to the upside. Okay, but right now, based on the current price position, I'm thinking a little bit bearish here for ES. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and add our levels to this chart here, and we'll just kind of spot check those, and then we'll move into our last market of the day, and which is the YM, and then maybe a brief little discussion on the portal. Okay, so here are our levels. Value area high looks like it's coming in around 6,000. Okay. We have value area low coming in at about 59.70. Okay, so that's all good. Okay, we have our average daily range high at 6,045. So that's up here a little bit. Okay, and then we have our average daily range low, which we seem to be responding away from potentially. Actually, it's a little bit lower, 59.70. Yeah, 59.70, 59.47. So it seems like we're in the middle of the ranges here. I'm just going to go ahead and open that up. Yeah, so price is in the middle of a range. Okay, this is our average daily range high, and then this is our average below. Here is our average daily range low. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of the range at the moment. Okay, all right. So yeah, so that's kind of kind of what we're looking at right now. The question is for me is price going to remain above value? If it does, then we have an opportunity for price to continue to the upside. Okay. If price is unable to stay above value, then I would say that there's a reasonable chance of rotating through to the bottom of value. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Dow. All right. And we're going to go ahead and review one last market here, and that's going to be the Dow. All right, and we're again same kind of deal here. We're going to go ahead and start with the daily. Okay, see what the daily has to say. All right, so daily again, we are in this kind of little bit of a bearish channel, although I do see maybe some evidence that it's breaking that channel to the upside. Okay. So depending on how you draw this channel here, we're getting some evidence here that maybe there's some legs here, right? That maybe there are some legs to the upside here. Okay. So we got a solid close above a kind of bearish channel here. Now we see that price is kind of hovering at the upper end. So again, maybe out of all the markets that we've seen so far, this is probably a bit more bullish than the others that I've seen so far. Now, still very important. Okay, I think there's still one remnant of price that it needs to break here, and I would say that we need to get price above 43,000, okay, 736, in order to really break this structure that we're seeing to the downside. Okay, so right now we've rallied. We're seeing a little bit of selling at the moment. So that could be an indication that we continue right from there down. Okay, or again, what I'd like to see is this: if this move is really how we say carries a bit of weight to it, then what I need to see is price getting above 43,777 Okay. If we do manage to get above that, that for me will start to break some structure to the upside, and then maybe offer me an opportunity for use that same reference level as an area for me to take executions to the upside. Okay, so that's a relatively important level for me. Okay, as long as price remains below that, then I'm thinking more that this was just maybe a false kind of breakout move to the upside, and that's really just kind of more range kind of price action. All right, so look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, we see that we got this series of candles. Okay, after I see such a bold move to the upside, I really don't like seeing this kind of action. Right, I get such a bold move to one side, and looks like this almost seems like an exhaustive move. Okay, we exhausted all the buyers. We have no more buyers in the market, and so the sellers say, okay, well, looks like they don't have any more interest to the upside. Let's take price lower. Okay, so this doesn't, I mean, again, this just because it broke, I wouldn't expect this to kind of stay stagnant, okay, for such a long period of time before it would continue to the upside. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Let's take a look at some levels. I don't have the same kind of price levels that I track on this market. Okay, so we'll just kind of talk through them. All right, we'll go ahead and talk through them. And first thing that I'm going to take a look at here is I'm going to take a look at the session range for Wednesday here, starting with the 9:30 candle, working my way over to the closing candle here at 4:30. Okay, and get a sense for my value range. Okay, so I see that we are below value. Okay, but we are again kind of creeping ever so slightly with potentially coming back inside value. Okay, all right. So again, we have the market opening up here in about 13 minutes. Okay, so this line right here is kind of an important line. Okay, I guess for the bulls. Okay, if this is going to be truly I guess a reversal, okay, where we need to see price close back inside, okay, value. Ideally, we want to see price get above and hold above value, okay, in order to really embrace a bullish move. Otherwise, this could merely be a close above up to VWAP and back down again, just like we've seen here in the past. All right. Something else I'm going to go ahead and draw here is I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP. I'm going to locate the start of London here. And there it is. Start of London is also bearish. Okay. So as long as price remains below my VWAPs, then I would say that my view of this market remains bearish. I do see that price is creeping it ever so slightly back into value, which could offer us maybe a bullish opportunity, but I just don't know whether there's enough room for me, because conservatively, I would have to say that a reasonable target for this move would be our daily VWAP, and I don't know if that's enough room for me to take an execution. Okay, this might be at best a one-to-one trade. Okay. So I might be better served in waiting for price to get above VWAP and then use VWAP on the other side for a bullish trade. Otherwise, if price is unable to get above VWAP, then I'm looking at opportunities to the downside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing here in this market. All right. So bullish if I get above VWAP, bearish if it stays below. Okay. And when I say stay below, I mean close above. not just the wick. Okay. This is of no interest to me. I need to see a definitive close above. Okay. And then a retest and hold. And then off we go. All right. Okay. Like I said, I don't have levels here that I track on this market, guys. So I'm just going to kind of call these levels out. We have 43,751, which is our ADR high. We have our ADR low, which you've already seen here on the right at 43,373. Okay. And then we have our value area high, which I'll go ahead and extend here on the right. And you guys can pick it up on the recording here. You can see the level at 43,516. Okay. As I mentioned, if we do close, there's, obviously you close back inside value. There's always the possibility that we rotate through value. Generally, I like it. I like this kind of move to maybe come from below a little bit more significantly, close back in, and then that gives me more confidence on that move. This feels more like a move that's going to maybe head back and then maybe reverse on us. I don't know, but certainly if I'm bullish, at some point I want to see price to get above my VWAPs. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have our ADR. We'll go ahead and add ASR here to this mix. Okay. So 43,620 is again kind of a little bit of a reversal zone for me. We have another level, 42,200 as another reversal zone. So we're kind of in the middle. Really, the only reference that I have here is value. Okay. That could offer me a reference level where I can, reasonably take an execution and manage my risk. So that's something to consider. Okay. All right. We'll think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover as far as the instruments. I wanted to spend a little bit of time here. Again, we have kind of a complimentary week here, guys, trying to drive membership here to the portal. Okay. So I want to speak about the portal here a little bit, speak about the membership here a bit. Okay. At the tail end, now that I've given you guys the value, all right, that you were kind of seeking, we're reserve the last 10 minutes or so to the membership. Okay. So I wanted to talk through the membership here a bit, kind of locating my my join link here. So let's see if I can locate that in a reasonable way. And we'll talk through that here a bit. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we'll stop share and we'll share the levels. Okay. Okay. Just kind of talk through the various membership levels that are available on the portal. Okay. So here we are. All right. So again, we have 3 main levels here, guys, that we've created to support the portal. Okay. And that's, we have the starter, market trader starter level here. Okay. And market trader starter is kind of the most economical. And that's basically will give you access to all the recorded videos that I make on the portal with respect to education. All right. There'll be an education set of education videos on various aspects of strategies, as well as various aspects of how I analyze and review the markets, video wise, right? Nothing live. Okay. And then we have the Market Trader Plus. Okay. That is the minimum level in order to make yourself available to these live sessions that I'm doing as complimentary sessions here this week. Okay. I'm kind of opening this up to the public to give a little bit more exposure to the analysis that I provide here. Okay. So if you want to be part of the live analysis that I do, then the Market Trader Plus is the minimum level for that. Okay. And then we have the Market Trader Pro level where in addition to the Market Trader Starter and Market Trader Plus, I open myself up to live trades. Okay. Live trading the market. Okay. 1 to 2 days a week, we'll open up the portal to our Market Trader Pros, and we will review the markets together. We will look for opportunities together, and see what we can secure out of the market. Okay. 3 levels, all very, I would say, in my humble opinion, very nominally priced. Okay. We have the starter level, again, is more offline, self-service kind of education, self-paced. And then the Market Trader Plus, whereas the kind of the first level where we do live, kind of environment. And then ultimately the Market Trader Pro, where, if you need some additional assistance in kind of, supporting you in your trades, you'll be able to look over my shoulder and see how I engage, see how I evaluate the markets. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close the session here now. See if I think for those kind of remaining, if you would be so kind to leave a like, leave a comment or two, let me know that that I am adding value, bringing value to your analysis of the markets. Okay. That would be much appreciated. Okay. So with that, guys, again, as I close every session, guys, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have a good day. I'm going to be popping into the Top Step channel here and to the Coaches Raise Room, okay, to offer any insights there. And then we have our normal kind of, group coaching call also at Top Step that you can take a gander there as well. Okay. So again, thanks again for your support. Thanks again for your continued support of this channel. Again, in order for me to do what I do, I obviously need your support, and I do appreciate those who continue to support me to this date. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. Again, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent trading day, guys. Thanks again.